honor to host him tonight. Ms. Kipnis, and please make him feel welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight to put our minds together for a little while on a topic that seems to be a buzz. When I first started writing and thinking about this a few years back, not too many people were talking about money. It's interesting being an educator in psychology. When I started my course at Pacifica about 8 years ago on the deep psychology of money, I did some research on, I teach marriage and family therapists and train PhDs, clinical psychologists, on, what is the number one reason that couples divorce? Money. They argue about other things, child rearing and who does the chores and so forth. But the definitive reason that couples split is money. And money is both extremely simple and at the same time almost unbearably complex. The simple part is the numeric part, right? We have a common code. And so what's this? Okay, $20 bill, a piece of paper, American money. And we all pretty much agree on that. And what can I do with it other than make art? Okay, like what? What could I buy for this?
Food, happiness.
Okay, I could buy one bag of food. I don't know if you could buy happiness, but maybe you could rent it for a little while. A small amount of happiness. Then this came along, and we rapidly adopted it. The first advertising campaign for a credit card in the 1950s said, "It takes the weight out of wanting." It takes the weight out of wanting. It quickened us. That really cranked us up. It took the weight out of wanting, because now we could have it now. Whether we had the real economic base for it or not, we could extend, hike ourselves way out beyond our true center of gravity. And it was fast. And it came on strong, and while it came on, it degraded cash as something dirty and something unclean. Why would anybody want to do that? Last winter, there was a commercial, credit card commercial. And it's during the Christmas season. And it shows people happily shopping for toys, like at F.O. Schwartz kind of a place. And they're going through the aisles, and they're juggling things in the air. It's a very joyful holiday. And they come up to the counter, and everyone swipes their card and walks off gleefully with their purchase. But then one poor stooge digs into his pocket and starts fumbling around with his cash, and everything just slows down. And everybody's just so defeated and sad and bored. But then his more consuming, intelligent girlfriend takes her credit card out of her purse and swipes it, and then everything cranks, the music starts playing, the lights come back up, and the juggling goes on. Well, you get the picture. Well, so they're taking 3 to 5% of everything. They. Who's they? A few people, a few families profited enormously by substituting this form of wealth for another. For those of you who are therapists, by the way, just a little aside, I'm not going to do too much of that because we're a very mixed audience tonight. But this is also good for those of you who are not in the human services. You have somebody with a spending problem, you just take this away and have them only use this. And what these people know is if you only use this, you'll spend 1/3 as much. This will induce us to spend 3 times as much as we do with this. It's psychology, right? It's psychological. They figured that out, that they could actually induce us to consume more because this doesn't seem real. And even though this isn't real because it's just a symbol of this, which is a symbol of the cows and the grains, it's so refined and it's so quick. It feels like it's never going to come due.
As I started a business once, one of the hardest things I did was to be able to ask for the money. I was always trying to do charity because I didn't view myself as making a certain amount of money. We've all seen millionaires that lose everything and then they're a millionaire in a few years. And I'd just like you to talk on that. Do we have a set point and how do we get past that?
Of course, it's highly individualistic, where that sweet spot is for each one of us. We all have particular needs and family needs. So I think it varies. But there's also this issue of class, and I think that's another idea that can get under our skin and begin to drive us rather than, and drive us kind of crazy. You think about the words that are associated with class. Upper class, wow, upper. We like upper, heaven is up, right? There's that idea of ascendancy, of moving up, moving away from the earth, of flying, right? That's privileged class. We like privilege. First, class, first. Oh, it's nice to be first. Top drawer. That's on the top, right? Number one. And there's even fantasies of health that get kind of conveyed with that, right? That you're the beautiful people, right? And that you're flush with money, flush. See how it gets into the biology? That fantasy. If I just get an infusion of capital, I'll feel flush. I don't have to eat well. I don't have to exercise. I don't have to live a, moral life. I can just get an infusion. Right? So a lot of those ideas are embedded in this idea of class, and it's very alluring. Right? That's what drives the lottery. Who spends on the lottery? Poor people, right. Not the middle class. We might buy a ticket once in a while. But a lot of the poor spend as much as 5% of their income on the lottery. Because what are the class words that are associated with being in those lower socioeconomic sectors? Poor, busted, shabby, worthless, trailer trash, dirt poor, something dirty, something kind of foul about not having much money. Downtrodden, right? So we don't want to go there. That's that graveyard that the middle class is whistling past, right? We don't want to get drawn into that kind of psychology. Hear the psychology of it. All these words create a certain internal state. Doesn't have really anything to do with your lifestyle so much as your affiliation. But what about the middle class? It's, comfortable, employed, insured, responsible. It doesn't have much cachet. There's not a lot of perfume around the fantasy of the middle class. There's a lot of, woo, I don't want to go there about the lower class. And there's a lot of, wow, allure around the upper class. So the psychology, the deep psychology of money is becoming more aware how these class ideas drive us and drive our behaviors, and developing a deeper sense of worth on who we are and what we do, more than what it is that we have or how much we make. And that's a profound change for many of us, because we are driven by those words, particularly in this society, those class ideas.